We don't have any.
I think it's time. Yep,
I guess it's filed.
somewhere.
We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. Sheena, you want to?
Sure. Let's bow our heads. Father, we thank you for this time together this evening. We ask that you give us wisdom and discernment in the decisions that are made. And we ask, Lord, that you protect us all and bring us back to school safely this year and let us have a productive and safe school year. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, introductions. How about we start back there with that stretch?
Mr. McGregor,
Beth Barr.
Doug Hunt,
Janet Rose. Jennifer Strawderman.
Warren Staggers.
Sheena Van Meter.
Sean Collars.
Melvin Shook,
Dixie V,
Jessica Markwood.
Sarah Earl.
Emily Thorne.
welcome everyone. We really appreciate it.
What time is it?
Beth, looks like you're up.
Two things for you this evening. I just want to take
Thank
this
you.
down, please.
Pass it to them. Maybe they want to look at it too.
The first page I gave you is the determination matrix. This was from our ADA, or the annual determination audit for special ed. I reviewed the matrices, with you back in May, and we went over all of the different, the areas that we are graded with each year. And I know it's really small because there's the determination at that time, we had not received that to determine if we had met the standards or not. So you can see on the front page, on the front page, those are all results indicators. So those are things that we can control, things like the participation rate for students taking assessments. And you can see it's broken up at the top there by 3A with the different grade levels for 8 and 11. And then over to the right, you see the points that we earned, and then if there was growth or not. So at the bottom, there were 17.5 points possible, and we earned 16.05. So our results percentage was 91.71. Yeah,
That's good.
thank you. And then on the back side of that, if we flip that page over, that's the second part of the compliance matrix. These are things like suspension, expulsion, race and ethnicity. And you can see we earned all points possible there. We also had child fine. Those are things like making sure all of our IEPs are completed within the timeline. Excuse me. The dispute resolution, we've been fortunate that we've not had to deal with a lot of those through special education. And then the last part in that section, the timely and accurate data submission, those are all of the different data collections that we have to submit throughout the year. So all of those were completed on time. So you can see we earned 20 out of 20 points there. And then at the bottom, were just some bonus points that we could earn if we completed and participated with our systematic improvement plan section. So we were, thank you. So we did meet requirements for everything in special ed last year. The second page, I just wanted to review quickly the numbers. We usually go over this with you at the beginning of the year. The top's just the enrollment, and then students with IEPs and the percentage. The middle section, I highlighted the gifted because last year I know we were down, and we did speak with our teachers and ask them to really take a look at those students that were performing well and refer those. And we now have 20 students in the gifted program, whereas last year we only had 11. So that went up. The other numbers stayed pretty similar to what they were last year. And at the bottom, I just combined all of the other types of plans and services we provide, like the healthcare plans, the 504 plans. We only have one student on homebound placement right now, and thankfully, we only have one that's on out-of-state placement at this time.
Woohoo!
And he should be coming off soon. He has 2 classes complete.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
So, yeah, any questions?
That gets you gifted kids.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Beth.
There are no public comments. Next up are the consent items.
Motion to approve consent items. So presented.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the consent items. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye. Opposed? And we are approved 4-0.
5-0.
5-0, Roy's on the phone.
Oh, sorry, Roy. I didn't realize he'd called in. Okay, next up, unfinished business. Financial updates, which is attachment 5. Sarah.
It's that time of year again, we're working in multiple years, but the first part of the attachment 5 should be the year end. We had, at the point of doing this report, most of the bills for 25 have been paid. There were a few encumbrances still remaining there, and still need to go through all the expenditures and stuff and make all the adjustments to know exactly how much needs to be transferred for child nutrition at the end of the year. But I'm assuming by the looks of things, it's going to be around the 600,000 that I left there at the bottom. So once all of those are paid and everything is closed out, I hope to be around 2.5 for the end of the year, as far as the excess carry forward. Just a few things to point out from last year, from the expense to date column 25 versus the FY 24 column at the very end. The difference, one of the major differences there in staff is we no longer have the COVID funding that we had. It expired September of 2025. So the reason that you see a 1.4 difference there in total at the bottom of that section, the object 100s for the salaries, is due to all of those salaries that we had previously been paying out of ESSER funds were moved over as of October 1. So the difference there between the 2 years is about 1.4 million. The difference in the object 200s, which is like the insurance, payroll taxes, is 464,000. So we actually did spend less money overall when you come down to like the object 300, the object 400, object 500. We were looking at expenditures and trying to cut back within where we had the means to do so. And even with cutting back some of those expenses, the prior year, some of those had also been paid out of COVID. So we actually probably cut back more than what actually reflects there. But I just wanted to point out some of those differences in the total expenditures for the year. So if you actually take off the differences in the payroll portion down at the bottom, which I did on my sheet, but I didn't do on your all's, it actually comes to within a couple $100 between the 2 years. Anyway, I found that
Pretty crazy.
interesting.
That is
But,
interesting.
and that's even with the $155,000 increase in the transfer for this current year, which is beyond that's not something we can really control. Anyone have any questions about the year-end one?
The 200,000 for land improvement, that's the track, and that includes,
Yeah.
and that's already been paid into the athletic association.
It has not been paid yet.
Where is that showing up in July, 10%?
It wasn't paid in July, it was paid in, I think, the first part of August.
Okay.
So there was a delay because the person who had done part of the track, we had to make sure all their paperwork and stuff was completed
Okay.
with the state.
And that was 100,000 that came from the governor's office. Is that what you're speaking of?
Yes.
And what about the other 100 that we were on? Has that been,
We haven't gotten it.
The 98,000, we paid, we didn't send it directly to the athletic boosters. We just paid the bill to that piece of, I don't know if it was the resurfacing, whatever bill we got. But we had to hold it for a minute because the contractor was not in compliance with the state. So then we
Fill out
released,
paperwork, huh?
yeah, because we have to, before we release that, and I'm sure it was something very minor, but before we release the final payment to someone, we have to actually fill out the paperwork with the state to make sure that they are in good standing.
that was paid out of the general funds, or was that the one that we were talking about? Going through
That was
the back?
out of the general fund.
Which came from the governor's
Which came
office.
from the governor's office.
And we haven't
just
acquired the
had a
other.
little, like,
He's asking about what Pendleton is going to give us. He's asking about the other 100 that we're borrowing. We haven't
yeah, we
hadn't-
haven't sorry.
gotten it yet.
No.
And we won't do that until, I think they were going to make several different improvements with maybe facilities and things down there that they were putting all that towards, and they haven't proceeded with any of that. So I guess until, we're not going to take the money until time comes.
I saw
To
where they
finish all
had
that.
those storage containers
Yeah.
out there.
I saw that too.
Yeah, that's what that was part of it.
Yeah, they haven't requested any of that from us yet.
So that 200 is not reflected anywhere. It doesn't show as income anywhere or expense anywhere. It's just not there.
Doesn't it come in?
It hasn't, right? It hasn't actually gone through with it yet. And then the next paper after that is for July of this current year. And I do not have all of the payroll encumbered yet, so this just gives a very general look at some of the expenditures that we did during July, but most of the stuff is going to be encumbered and come as the year goes. But for the first month of the year, all that was pretty normal expenditures. Anyone have any questions about that?
Okay, we'll move on to approval of in-county and out-of-county student transfers. I understand we sent it out for a second read because you added that language in the last statement,
Right.
concerning rescinding transfer.
Correct, you got it.
Simplify things, so. We have a motion,
Motion to
any
approve.
discussion? Okay, we have a motion and a second, any discussion? All those in favor, so we're approved by that. Next up are the medical examination policy, policy GBOA, attachment 7. This went out for first read last time, I think, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And so
This would be it.
final,
Got it.
unless there's changes.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the policy. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. We're approved by that. Okay, now we move down to new business. Review of fiscal year 2024 school audit, attachment 8.
That was in your all's packet, right?
Yeah.
Too. I followed the same. That's what it's like. I followed the same method that I've always done, which hers is in color. So the any prior finding was in blue, and any ongoing is in green, and any new finding is in yellow. So the schools did a really good job for FY24. All of the findings as far as what we had during FY24 were ongoing issues that are not really issues. It's just, there's not much we can do. All of them had segregation of duties, which is going to be that's just gonna be how it is, unless we put multiple secretaries in every school, which just isn't feasible to do. That funding is gonna remain there. We have implemented a lot of extra oversight over that. I know we've talked about that. We took over doing their bank recs, to provide a little segregation there. We follow up with them. At least I try to once a month go into the schools and talk with the secretaries and go over things. But short of that, there's not much we can do about the segregation of duties. And East Hardy High School and Moorefield High School both had the individuals, the number of times the same individuals could be used for selling tickets at athletic events. And there's not really, I know the schools have tried, they tried to offer different things to entice, volunteers or folks to, give time to do that, but it would take a lot of individuals.
Does it have to be a school employee?
It does not have to be a school employee, no.
I didn't think so.
No, but 5 times isn't very much for the number of athletic events you have during the year, so you would have to have a lot of people there, that would, volunteer to do that.
Has this opportunity been offered to the athletic boosters at each
I'm
school?
sure, I think they've tried every resource they could find. I think they've offered, free passes to athletic events, if you did so many games, it's a hard sell.
And we're not allowed to pay these people to sell tickets?
You probably could find a way to pay them, but you would be talking a significant amount of money if you looked at, if you paid one, you'd have to pay all. And you're talking, basketball, one school
that's
itself
true.
would have,
That's true.
every night.
She said lots of athletic events.
yeah,
Okay.
it could get really
Sorry,
expensive,
that
I think.
A non-thinking question.
No, any ideas, I'm sure, are welcomed, but I think they beat the
Yeah,
horse.
we talked it over and over and over.
Yeah.
Not really sure how to help them.
Would students be allowed to sell?
Some do.
Are there any counties that don't get written up for that?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Maybe you could find out what they do, how they do it.
Right, bigger
Yeah.
schools.
Bigger counties probably pay better money, but it might be an idea. I wouldn't do it.
Well, this is the
Or
thing
they
about
just
the
write somebody
ticket
down.
reconciliation. What aren't they doing there?
From,
East Hardy, early middle, or early East
Oh,
Hardy
from the prior
elementary
year?
school.
They didn't have, I don't think the ticket, each time you have a game or athletic event, you have to reconcile the ticket thing. And I think they had a couple, it might have only been one or two that didn't add up or they didn't have the tickets along. Something was missing.
Okay, where they run the numbers and stuff.
Where you stop and start.
Yeah.
Stop.
We're missing a ticket, wasn't paid for. That was last year though, right?
Yeah, that was last year.
Yeah.
All that stuff
Had been fixed.
and there were none of those other findings. Yep, but no, overall, that's a very good year for the schools. With just those small issues that we can't really.
I think that's the least culprit one I've seen.
Okay, next up is the approval of the mowing bid, attachment 9.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the mowing and landscaping bid of 3H Lawn Service. And this will run, how long will this bid run through?
I believe that we typically run them 3 years.
It'll be June 30.
June 30.
1 year with the option to renew for 2 years.
For 2 more. Okay, very good. Before we would have to put it back out for bid.
Where it says
June
mowed
30,
per, does that
2020.
mean per time mowed or per building mowed?
Hold on, I have it here. I'll tell you exactly. I think it's per property, yeah. Hold on. I have their actual bid pages here. Yeah, so For the winning bidder, it was East Hardy 600 per mo for the whole East Hardy property.
That was
Both
my question.
schools.
That's for both properties? or-
Yeah, for all of East Hardy. And then MMS MIS is 625 per mowing, and MES MHS 600 per mowing combined. With the 1150 per mulching, well, you have the rest of it there. Yeah.
I'm sorry it didn't work out for the other young man. It's been a tough summer. So we have to go grass. We ready to vote? All those in favor? Okay, next is the sealed bids for the surplus bus sale.
We need a motion.
Yeah.
For this, move to approve.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second to approve the surplus bus sealed bids. It looks like that John Riddleman got both of those.
Was he the
Only bidder.
He was the only bidder. Mhm.
Okay, all those in favor of acceptance of this bid? Aye.
Aye.
So we'll approve 5-0. Next up is discussion and approval of dual college credit policy, ICI, attachment 11. The change in this was the strikeout.
Yeah, there's not a change in it.
This
If
is
you would
the
just-
Policy that we,
Yeah, so if you want to,
Do every year.
yeah, if you want to approve the one that is there to remain, then we can discuss it and decide if we want to do anything with it at this point.
okay, move to approve.
Second.
All those.
Then just,
Yeah, we'll
yeah.
discuss.
So this is the one, you had a student who was a freshman, and I had provisionally approved. One other time we had allowed a freshman to take dual credit courses as a freshman. And then that was a few years back. This parent had approached, and I think ended up emailing you guys an appeal on the decision that I had made. So I had granted a provisional one college course as a freshman for the student. And then the parent wanted the student to be able to take 2 courses per semester and had appealed the decision that I made to you guys to review. So I handled that by putting the policy back out to you guys to see if you wanted to make policy adjustments or how you wanted to proceed with that.
I think we need to leave it the same. You know, we offer a lot of curriculum here. You know,
Yeah, we there are lots of reasons that we don't allow freshmen to take the courses, and I'll just say I apologize for making exceptions probably without. One of the things I should have done in the past is maybe bring that exception to you guys as a board, since it is your policy. Just kind of, we were handling on a case-by-case basis. Our procedure was, if it was requested, the first thing we had the student do would be to take the AccuPlacer at the college to see if they scored high enough to take college courses. Then based on those scores, we kind of have a team of us that it's the principal, Mrs. Stratterman, Mrs. Markwood, we just discuss whether we look at the behavior of the student, the attendance, the previous grades, and then we just decide if we think it's an appropriate thing or not. That was the steps we had followed on these last 2. These are courses that are going to be transcripted on the student's college transcript and high school transcript, even as a freshman. So while a student might be extremely intelligent, the level of rigor of a college course and the responsibility that's required to log online, do a fully online course with a professor you may or may not ever really meet, it's a little different. So sometimes kids can handle that even as juniors and seniors. Sometimes they handle it really well, and sometimes we have kids that can't. So I'm always just very leery of giving that opportunity. This particular instance, the parent was very insistent, and I just thought we could give the kid the opportunity. So I believe currently this student is enrolled in 1 course at Eastern. Am I correct, Mrs.
Yes.
Markwood? This student is currently enrolled in 1 course. Is it medical terminology.
I thought you all said.
Yeah.
Can a person, if I'm a freshman, can I take college classes on my own and get? credit?
Yes.
As long as the college approves you. Yeah. Yeah. As long as the college approves you.
The request specific for this instance is they didn't particularly want the electives that they were issued as a freshman, and being as a student wanted to go into the medical field, they wanted to take some career-based medical training if all possible, and Eastern had worked with us as well on this, and medical terminology being entry level, heavy vocab, heavy everything based, so it would be something that would benefit them, but it's also not compromising rigor for them, but would give them a good idea as to what that level expects, and we capped it at the one for discussions as well, because as an incoming freshman, she has a lot of changes that are happening in their world anyway, and we want to support her on that role in that journey, so it would be a good balance.
I would like from you guys though to know how you want this handled in the future, because I truly don't want there to be a policy procedure that opens the door to any freshman to apply. If we just need to say no, not until you're a junior.
According to our policy, that's what it says, junior, or senior.
Yeah. So
The policy is written that way, and that's what you need to stick to, safe confusion.
So from this way forward, we can.
Didn't we approve that ninth graders could take an AP class?
I don't believe we have any AP classes that ninth graders can
Okay.
take. Mm-mm. I don't think so.
I agree with Mr. Shook, if that's what the policy.
Oh, yeah.
Then we'll just hold a hard line
I
and
think just
If
saves
they want to
confusion.
come in,
Yeah.
you know,
take them on their own, but not, okay.
Yeah, Ms.
All
Brown
right.
says they can take them on their own, need be if the college approves it.
Yeah.
They have to stay fully enrolled as a full-time student and then have as an additional course.
Right, it can't be
Right.
during our school day.
Right.
They still have to have our full hours. Okay,
Would
so
there
we'll
be any
leave.
difference in the cost of the class to the student if he or she takes it on their own or takes it through?
Probably.
Probably it's gonna be.
Yeah, it's probably
that
more
would-
expensive.
Yes, so that would be a reason they would not want to do it on their own.
It
But if
could
they
be.
really wanted it badly enough, I guess.
Yeah, we've had students that have done that in the past, taken them independently.
Mhm.
Sure, if they're online courses. Yeah, they're all early entrants if they haven't graduated high school.
If the maturity level's there. And that
But if
would
it's not through us, I don't think it, I think the dual credit's the
student
only
to
ones they
student.
give that
They
to.
can be super smart, but not have, the maturity level or the social skills to actually.
Yeah, and it puts us in a bad place trying to determine that, to be honest with you. It's a very difficult process to try to,
Yeah, it is.
students we don't personally know, well, to be able to make those decisions when it is such an important decision. So that's what we'll do then. Thank you. We'll stick purely to the,
I totally agree. Do we need to put that to a vote, make a motion?
I think you're good.
It's
Just
already
approve your,
policy.
yeah, just
Yeah.
approve that you're going to remain. Yeah, you've
Yeah.
already done that. Just vote on that and you're good to go.
Okay, the next thing
Yeah.
is,
You got to vote on your motions just leave it as is, I think.
okay,
Yeah.
so, we have a motion to follow the policy as written for ICI. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Did we lose?
You lost them to just four.
So we're down to 4-0.
And we'll just update the dates now at the bottom of that policy to say we reviewed it and approved it today since nothing changed. So we'll be good. Thank you.
So the next thing, item E is approval of CTE embedded credit policy. IDKA for the first reading is attachment 12.
Move to approve.
second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? I think those embedded credit courses are good. And with having to assign the way that the weaknesses and all that, if a student is displaying weaknesses in the embedded course, that's good. And
Yes.
they need to follow that. And I'm sure they will.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'll be fine.
Because aren't they looking at their test scores?
I hope so.
Yeah. Okay. Next, we're going into approval of the pre-K contracts. It's attachment 13.
Motion to approve.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve. There, under item J, it's on page 68. It says ensure that the daily schedule includes a minimum of 1 hour of outdoor vigorous activity daily as part of the curriculum.
Mhm.
And I don't have any problem with the kid being outside, for an hour, but it doesn't mention weather or anything. So they're gonna go play in the rain and play in the snow and,
No, concessions are made based on the weather. But in state policy for preschool, it's a requirement of 1 hour minimum of gross motor. So that's just part of the contract, that is part of the curriculum. You work in your gross motor each day. If it's bad weather, they don't take them out. They do alternate activities.
well, I kinda figured that.
Yes.
It certainly doesn't say that.
No, it doesn't, but it doesn't say in state code either. They just adapt.
And then on page 69 under enrollment, item A, it says Hardin County Schools will enroll not less than 80 children eligible to participate in the West Virginia pre-K program. How is that 80 determined, that number 80?
We, as a pre-K core committee, we determined that we work to get that number minimally. That's how.
How many?
However, with 7 rooms and 20 kids in a room, it's 140.
Is that what you
Right.
actually?
It will be 140, yes, by the end.
I mean, I believe the 80 when we first started pre-K,
Right.
but I think that maybe we should up that. Because I know I felt that there were more pre-K kids that we weren't reaching and weren't bringing in.
Well, that's true. There are, and there are many parents who choose not to put their kids in
Right.
pre-K for various reasons. So we just, as a team, we have to have a minimum, and that's the number that the team has decided. I can take it that Ms. Barr's on the committee too. So we will share that with our committee.
Is that number just one we've carried over from year to year on the contract, you think?
Well, we actually talked about it this year,
Oh, okay.
working on the contract, and decided not to increase it, to keep, that's the minimum. It's not the maximum.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
was just
really
curious
just,
where it came from.
and this contract follows the state models of contracts, and they have those wordings in there. And it's just, as a minimum, they want at least 80 for the classrooms. Max, we have 140.
Wondered if it was population based, if it had something to do with like a percentage of your
I don't
population
know.
or enrollment. I'm
It's-
just curious.
The team
It
felt
just-
that was a solid minimum.
Okay.
You said 140 was max, so
It is max. It's 20, and we have 7 classrooms.
when you're at max.
Will be. They come in all year.
But if any students
What
come in
happens?
and they want to be in pre-K, we have to have another class.
That is how it goes. Yes.
Just say what
Once we hit the
get
max,
141.
We hire them.
you have to
Yeah.
hire a classroom.
Yeah.
Yes.
We can't just say, sorry, we're full.
No,
I'd like to see you try that.
it used to be like that several years ago.
Now we take them. Now it's universal pre-K.
Now,
Currently, our max is 140 based on classrooms that
do
we
you
have.
take students from outside the county that,
There are some, yes,
could you, if, can you?
We-
allow
depending
them
on the
to-
site. Because at Moorefield Elementary, I mean, their
We did that.
classrooms are max.
We sent one
So
back.
if anybody wants to come into Hardin County Schools and go to preschool at Moorefield Elementary from out of county, it's a hard no because there's not room.
We actually, for the first time, turned away a transfer.
Goes the number.
Yeah,
But
because we were
there
full.
is room at other classrooms, and therefore you can offer those spaces at the other classrooms, but they don't want anywhere but there, so yes.
I'm sure they have a reason for picking a particular school, probably.
Oh, there,
post a
yes,
job and
there it's
that sort of
parents.
thing.
Mhm.
So no, they're not gonna transfer in and have to drive 20 miles to another school.
So, do the children with special needs, are they enrolled in our school?
Yes,
and not at,
Currently,
Beaches.
we have them only at Moorefield Elementary, but based on open spots, they will be going to Each's when they would, because that is where there's room.
okay,
And any student at each is, they're also under the child find requirements, so the teachers there
Yeah.
can refer them. Yes.
okay. I just knew that you all had done that previously and I
Right.
didn't, which is probably better because, well, I'm sure the teachers are good, and I also wanted to say that when we, do our visits, I think it would be good to go over and visit
MELC,
Head
We
Start.
Come
probably
on
would
down.
love that.
that'd be good. I will speak to the preschool teachers. They are very, I couldn't do what they do. I'll just put it that way. They have a difficult job. They get them. No matter what comes their way, they train them. I don't want to say break them because it's the wrong word. It's not like it's a wild horse, but it's what they
But it
do.
sort of is.
They train them. They take them. They deal with all the issues
They support
They
them.
socialize
and
them,
support
maybe is the word
and
you wanna
introduce
use.
them to school. And I'll just say your preschool teachers don't have, it's not, they're in there and they play all day. It's far from that. It's hard.
Yeah, we just never been over there, and I think it would be
Oh,
nice to
that's
go.
another thing I'll share. We have a meeting coming up the end of September. Well, yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be
I
great.
think it would be good when we do our
I think it'd be
visits
great.
to go there.
Yes.
Yeah, just like we can do up at the chat. So, okay, next is, so we have to approve these, we haven't voted yet. I keep forgetting to vote, I apologize, people. It's turned into a dictatorship.
You bring
We'll
them.
do it-
no
we'll do-
comment there.
We'll do an executive order.
No,
Just
don't
approve
get
it.
carried away.
No, I'll never do that. I'm sorry.
You're no Francis.
All those in favor of approval of the pre-K contracts signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. So they're approved for. So, next up, discussion of board and superintendent roles.
So I pulled last year's. These are my raw goals from last year. Just pass them down to board members if you would for me. I don't know how many I have there. And what we looked at last year, we tried to align the county strategic plan goals with the superintendent's goals with your all's goals. So we had goals that we were trying to align. What are you pointing at?
I just didn't know if you had a copy.
Oh, for me? That's
Yeah,
okay.
here to go.
So we basically went, oh yeah, okay. I see. So we basically focused on the 10% increase in RLA and mathematics scores on the county summative assessments from year to year. That's what we did last year. I don't know if you want to look at doing the same thing. So the strategic plan focuses on a overall proficiency level of 70% or significant growth is what the strategic plan says. Both are dealing with proficiency in RLA and math and dealing with the strategies that we put in place to help support that. So I'm not sure I can adjust mine to meet that 70%, and then you guys can do the same thing. I'm going to be real. I don't think that's a realistic goal because I don't think we're going to get to 70% proficient in RLA and math, but we want to we would love to be there, but that based on where we've been, I don't know that that's going to be realistic. If you look at this significant growth piece, that if we can determine a way to measure that, I think that's really important. You always want to shoot for at least a year's worth of growth. Many times we need more than that when kids are behind, but we can look at that as well. So I don't know if you want me to do a formula with a growth rate, or if you want to do a 10-15% and just make an adjustment on that end. What do you want to do? Mr. Hines, you've got experience in proficiency levels and goal setting. And you and Janet, those of you who have done this at the teacher school level. What are you thinking?
70%.
We never make that.
It'd be wonderful.
This
In
will
an
get a
ideal
tap
world,
through.
In an ideal world, yeah.
in an ideal world.
Might do that in Montague County.
No, they didn't even do it, I don't think.
If
Um,
you say significant growth, how will you measure significant?
I think that's the $1 million question. I mean, I think you would have to look at what would be considered a standard rate, and then a large, 25 to 30% above that. But I think you'd have to have an actual formula that you used to calculate it.
Right.
Yeah, because what I would consider significant growth might not be something, it's a very
Right.
just
If
objective
kids,
thing. So,
You know,
right,
become superstars, then that's significant to them, but.
agreed,
Not on average.
I
agreed.
think we ought to wait until we get the scores, because we might want to lower this to 5%.
Yeah.
Even 5% growth is good, on a test.
Yeah.
I mean, 10% is way better, and I would be so tickled if we would do 10%, but.
Well, and I'll have that presentation for you at the next board meeting and can hand all that out. So do you want to make a final determination at that point? We have to approve my goals at the next meeting, but we can do that together. Like, we can decide, I can handwrite it in and bring you back a printed copy if you want to go that route.
You've seen the score.
I have, yeah. We have made growth in both areas. Some of our schools need more work than others, but I'll have the full presentation I can share with you. Do it all at the
let's
same
look at
time.
that.
Okay.
Because otherwise we're shooting ourselves in the foot.
Okay.
I really do think that everyone is working hard, and
Oh, yeah. And even the schools that I think need significant growth, their administrators have really good plans in place.
I think our biggest problem is getting the kids to take it seriously.
There you go.
They're just going down and singing a song with an A, with A, B, C, with B. I mean, it appears sometimes that that's what they're doing, because you see how many
Yeah.
they miss.
So I can bring you I'll give you the presentation at the next meeting, and then we can I'll leave a little blank on there. We can make our decisions and then finalize it then, if that works for you guys.
So,
We just needed to discuss it together.
will we need a motion to table this until the next meeting?
No, these are no action taken anyway. They're just discussions.
Okay.
I just needed it reflected on an agenda,
Sure.
and then we'll officially do it next time. The other things that I had for you guys, these are the important dates. I give you this every year. Here, let me just pass it that way, Sean. I can hand them out down there.
Yeah, that's that sheet from Bowles Race, isn't it?
No, not that just yet. This is the one that we do. It's a front and back. It has the grading deadlines, when we're having all of our meetings, benchmark dates. It's kind of a little bit of everything.
Thank you.
This is Jennifer's professional development calendar that she does and has given out so that you could have a copy of that. And then the Bulls Rice thing that you're talking about, we can get you one of those. That's the one that has all the personnel deadlines on it. But this one is last year's. Remember, you guys had given us this, and Sean went in and put the lines out from it so we could track it. And so here's the updated finished year version. And I thought maybe you would want to take a look at it. I did it all the way up to right before September 1st. I think the next thing on it, the one thing that would really fall at the end of the year, or the beginning of the year rather, that I didn't mark off would be the handing out of all, or the posting of the seniority lists. And I know personnel has those ready. They will be, but I just didn't sign off on it because it hasn't happened just yet. But otherwise, I tried to put dates. If it was just something that was accomplished generally, I put that mark. But if there was a date, there was a board action, I tried to note that. But I thought maybe you'd want to keep it in case something ever comes up or there's a question, you can kind of refer to it. And hopefully we'll get an updated version for this year, and we'll just do the same thing because that was really helpful for us to keep on track.
It has all the new law and
Yeah.
everything in it. It is very helpful.
It is
You wouldn't
indeed.
have to do this and that.
Yep. So we got all that checked off. Dylan's dates, PD schedule, important dates. I think from me personally, that's all I had to share with you. I don't know if you guys had anything for me or not.
Anybody have anything?
For this, I had a custodian today. Do we spray for bugs, critters anymore like we used to?
When there's a report, so we have those books that we keep in all the front offices, and we have a gentleman that comes around, call him the bug guy, comes to the board office too, but he checks the books, checks to see if there are any reports.
Apparently at this school, the bugs got in the wax and they're out in the wax.
At this school?
No,
Oh.
East Hardy Elementary.
Oh,
Bugs got in the wax.
What kind of thing?
I don't know if it was a big bug.
oh, I haven't heard that, but I can certainly check on it. Do you know a room or a location or?
No, it was one of the custodians I saw at the store or feeding the store.
Gotcha.
I know that the floors in this hallway, as we get into the meeting, are just sparkling.
They're beautiful.
But
Yeah.
apparently, like I said, the critters had crawled out on the wax.
And,
Yes.
uh,
You
Well, they got.
You said East Hardy Elementary?
Right.
Is it East Hardy Elementary?
Yes.
Let little footprints did that?
Got it.
I guess it probably grabbed a hold of them the next day.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll see if, I'll see what I can find out. But yeah, we can spray and treat whenever we have the report and need to. See what we
I
can
noticed
find out.
Moorefield High School, when the last work order, there was like 10 cameras out that they've been checked.
10 cameras out at Moorefield High School and work orders. Do you know anything about that?
So what happened with those were the ends that were on the cameras and those work orders, because the rooms and items were waxed. They had to wait until they were done in order to do a retightening on the ends. For a moment, we were concerned that maybe there were critters that were in the ceilings that had been chewing on wires, but when Tony finally got a chance to go in there, it was just an end attachment.
So they have been corrected then?
Yep.
Good. Thank you.
And if I can elaborate, we, over summer, were testing the Verkada system, the communications connector, so that way we could address some of the items that have been shared in prior meetings about the dead time that was happening, or the black space on some of those cameras. So we were able to lock in rates on the equipment that we need, actually before Friday, because of the tariffs and stuff, the prices of those were going up. So we were able to lock in with the vendor the prior rates, and they should be on site for the next couple of weeks. So we hope to have everything fully functioning without any issues by the time the kids are in buildings.
They're important when you need them, for sure.
Yes,
Amen.
absolutely.
Can I ask something? I know we had a lot
Sure.
of discussion about the twist and whatever, the gymnastics class. Did we ever settle on, if it would be charged, what the charge would be prorated based on a couple hours rather than a full day?
No, we have not settled on that yet. They will be charged, but we haven't. Sarah and I need to get together and figure out a formula that we can follow. I think our discussion was we needed to decide what the formula was, so that regardless of who it was we were billing, we were following that same process. That's what our attorney told us anyway. So we just need to sit down and put it in writing so we have it established, but they will be charged. Yeah.
Okay, well, I knew that we had not decided anything, and I just.
Yeah, I'll work with them and get that formula and let you guys know what that is, but we haven't talked any more about it, to be honest with you.
It should be the same.
Yeah.
No matter who or what.
It kind of got lost in the back to school shuffle, but yeah, you're right. We do need to probably do that.
And in the back to school shuffle, where are we with vacancies, or is everything covered, or?
You want to address any of that? Are we in pretty good shape? We have long-term subs, a couple.
Pretty good
places.
shape. We have some long-term subs that are in some spots. We do have some spots that are coming open that were a little bit of surprises, but I met with I've talked to the various administrators as well to try to cast a broad net as far as applications or in postings, to try to get bigger pools of applicants that are coming in. So reworking some of those processes to try to attract candidates to come in.
But as of now, for opening, we have teachers in every classroom.
No, there's some
But long-term subs,
long-term
yes.
subs.
Yes, if not a
That's
teacher.
full
Yeah.
certified.
I think she means a
Right.
person. You mean a person.
Someone.
Someone, yeah, yeah, yeah. Nobody will be empty. Somebody will be in every room, even if it's a long-term sub. Yeah. No, we're not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Yes, I'll just-
We may have a, I guess, a nursing position that might be open that's on your list tonight, but other
Knock
than
on
that.
wood. Other than that, no other big surprises at this point.
No, because she can't fill in either. Never mind.
Maybe as school goes on, you can get us a list of how many long-term subs we
Yeah,
have and all that.
sure. Sure.
Yeah,
We've
for
done that
sure.
before.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And those are ones that we're still continuously posting the full-time positions to.
Apply, someone applies.
I will say is that just as an aside, something that has been beneficial for us so far is the troops to teachers. We've already had several inquiries of folks that, as long as they were honorably discharged, have a 4-year college degree and pass the praxis, they can go that route to get full certification. I have several that have either reached out or are in the process of doing that. So that's something that we have seen here.
Good.
So far, it's been beneficial, and hopefully that trend continues.
Yeah.
Spread the word about that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's a win-win.
Yeah, for sure.
Like that.
Anything else?
I just noticed when I went to Mr. McGregor's bathroom, he has those light switches, and I like to turn the lights on and off. Is this the only school that does that?
No, I was going to say both East Hardy High School has it, and
Yeah.
Moorefield High
I had
School
noticed
has
the
it.
other day. I noticed
Yeah.
this came on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not big savings, but it is a savings for sure. You
Mhm.
don't have to worry about them being off.
Yeah, and on that same note, we met with ESG as part of their, I think 30% complete audit process that they're going through, and they just gave us a little update as to where they were, some of the things they thought they could begin to look at a little deeper, and then they are asking to come and speak to you guys and give you all a presentation on the things that they found. So I believe, gosh, I didn't bring the date with me, but we scheduled them for a board meeting, maybe the second one in September. Is that right, Sarah? Okay. But they'll be able to share with you then what they found so far and where they stand on that end. So
Will that,
I'll give
will
you
that mean, it was solar that there was a deadline on, right?
everything they've done. They're still on track. If we choose to do any solar, they're on track for that.
Okay.
And they had some ideas, field and kind of staying off rooftops. That was the suggestion, things we talked about with like this field over here between these two schools, and a couple of other spots that they have mentioned that they found that they thought might work, but they'll show you that on their map and get your feedback on that.
I just have the last part meeting minutes and the agenda and all that. I'll pass around. Everybody have a copy. Just for your information.
Thank
We'll say that about that.
Thank you.
That's good it's happening at the park. Practicing soccer team. How's that going?
Excellent.
Yay.
We're very excited. We've done
I think you've got a lot of public support for that too. I've heard that. I've heard nothing but good things. Well, good luck.
Okay, so, future agenda items. Anybody have any?
The things we talked
We're
about.
gonna, I think one thing we need to look at are goals from last year that we had as a board. I think we need to look at those and
Yeah.
then we can coordinate them with. It's just
Mine.
yours that have to get approved next time.
Yeah, you guys will have to do your goals as well. So the strategic plan is already set. They can be adjusted if need be,
Yes,
but
it can.
but your goals and my goals will both it'll be an agenda item on the next meeting.
Okay.
And we try to make them the same. That way we're just all working towards the same things, but
So would a future agenda item be the formula for determining recs?
For determining what's that?
Cost of building things.
Oh, I don't think that will be an item that you'll put in policy or anything. I think it's just a fun, I think it's just
didn't know if
a,
we could talk about it if thought it
We
had
can
to be
talk
on the agenda. That's all.
oh, yeah. Sure. I can bring that to you to share at that point. Yeah.
It's gonna be kind of tricky because as far as a custodian, they, for some things you have to have a custodian, so it doesn't make a difference if they're an hour or a half an hour.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a separate
You've
option
gotta
on that.
Cover all
Usage
that up
form.
front. Same as the kitchen, if they use the kitchen, you've got to
Yeah.
cover all those overhead costs.
And all of
in
that's
the first hour.
on that usage form. So you can already choose those options. And I think that would be different than probably what we're talking about long-term, looking at long-term. I don't think anybody long-term's ever used a custodian or kitchen, but
No.
we can talk
Yeah.
about it. We can look at some different options. And maybe it'll come down to modifying that policy and adding a statement in there. We'll have to be careful as to how we handle that.
Anybody have anything else there for future? Under announcements, our next board meeting is September 2nd at the Board of Education office at 5:00. For mission statements and accomplishments.
Good to see the soccer teams in action and getting ready. And good luck to the football teams. They're hard at work too. And I'm excited.
They both scrimmage, Moorefield scrimmage for afternoon. I think
There's one
East
this
Hard,
weekend in there.
well, they
He's going to ask me who
moved
they
this week.
scrimmage, and I don't know.
East Hardy scrimmage Kaiser.
Yes, it is Kaiser this weekend.
They do
I was like,
have
he's
that.
going to ask me, and I'm not. They're going to. They're going
They
to.
have
Yeah,
one
they have one in Kaiser, and then there's somebody maybe from Virginia too that they're going to scrimmage. But I think Kaiser is their first scrimmage. I think that's right. And thanks to all of the custodians that have worked really hard to get their buildings ready. Been in most of them, and they look amazing. It's always a good feeling to see a nice, clean, shiny
Yeah,
floor.
they
These
do.
floors are just
they'd seen both.
years.
Everything
Seems
does
like
look
so
nice.
Right,
and
but
I
Now I'm
talked
looking,
with, a custodian from Moorefield Middle School,
Uh-huh.
and kudos to them. They've had a tough summer without the air conditioning
Yeah.
and trying to get things done. And the young woman that I spoke with had said that, she has a plan where the wax, is all, and there's gook all against the sides and stuff to get that all cleaned, and
Good.
not before school starts, but with cleaning and stuff.
As the year
So,
goes on, they've done a nice job. I've been impressed from what I've seen.
Okay, next up, we go to personnel. Do we need an executive session?
Yes, I do believe we need to go into executive session just to discuss one of the recommended actions.
motion to go into executive session.
Have a motion and a second to go into executive session at 5:58.
Bye, guys. Thank you all for coming.
All those in favor?
Aye. Motion to come out of executive session.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to come out of executive session with no action taken at 6:50. All those in favor? Aye. So we're out of executive session.
Alrighty, so I'm going to begin at the end with personnel, if that's okay. I'll recommend the approval of the I'll recommend the approval of the letter of agreement for Jordan Mungle, teacher, Universal Pre-K at Moorefield Elementary regarding the forfeiture of her duty-free lunch, option 1 for the 25-26 school year.
Motion approved.
Second.
I'll have to abstain till the move's over.
You go outside, we'll let you back in.
Yeah, I'm trusting.
Oh, I think she'll do an excellent job. I'd be surprised. All those in favor? Aye. So we have three
We lost him.
yes and 1 abstention because
Three cubes.
All right, can I go ahead? All righty. I recommend the approval of the service personnel hirings as follows: Christina Foley, substitute aide; Minnie Shingleton, substitute aide; Rebecca Smith, substitute aide; Shayna Barr, substitute aide; Rebecca Baker, substitute cook; Sonia Baker, substitute cook; and Shayna Barr, substitute cook.
Move to approve.
Second.
have a motion and a second to approve the recommended service personnel hirings. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And they approved for it.
I'll do the rest of them all together. I think, sorry about that. That's my fault. I'll recommend the approval of the rescission of hiring for Lisa Walker, bus operator, extracurricular bus run number 1 for the 25-26 school year only.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Thought you were finished.
That's okay. I was just going to read them all.
She's gonna do it all.
Oh, okay.
I'll
Okay.
recommend the approval of the professional personnel hiring for Ethan Judy, substitute teacher countywide; Lloyd Sherman as a substitute teacher countywide; Victoria Garrison, substitute teacher countywide; Heather Crawford, restricted short-term substitute countywide; Emma G. Baker, restricted short-term substitute countywide; Lloyd Sherman, long-term substitute teacher for science, grades 6 to 8 at MMS; Brasida Mena Rivas as teacher for 3rd grade, 4th grade split at MIS. I'll recommend the approval of the professional personnel extracurricular hiring for Marie Rayo as a leadership team coordinator at MES, Robin C. as a SAT coordinator at East Hardy Elementary School. I'll recommend the approval of the athletic hiring for Christopher Sherman as assistant football coach at Moorefield High.
Have a quick, is that Chris Sherman out, Greg?
Uh-huh.
Pilgrims?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Ethan Judy, authorized certified coach without pay for football at Moorefield High. I recommend the approval of the letter of agreement for Alicia Reynolds, teacher at MES, a change of assignment to split assignment for 1st grade and 2nd grade. Irena Price Sanders is the Secretary of Transportation Maintenance, Central Office change of working hours from 9 a.m. through 5 p.m. to 8:30 through 4:30 p.m., effective August 27th. I recommend the approval of volunteers for Margaret Perkins, volunteer at MES. I recommend the approval of the resignations of Jacqueline Zirk as a substitute teacher countywide, effective August 11th, and Alana Haggerty, school nurse, effective September the 1st.
Motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation concerning personnel.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the superintendent's recommended personnel actions. All those in favor? Aye. Great.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, guys.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
And we're adjourned at 6:19.